I'm speaking to Brian Hudson. He is 50 and based in Hertfordshire. He was a successful business person. We're going to talk to you about that in a minute. You're on universal credit at the moment and facing bankruptcy. What's your involvement in this story? What do you want to highlight?
So I came into it after a family court drama of my own. That drama led to my company collapsing and ultimately to my having to declare bankruptcy this time last year and a period of homelessness and what have you. And within that, a fraudulent claim was made against me, which, funnily enough, the hearing is this week. And that opened my eyes to the type of treatment that I was just astonished by, and a complete lack of willingness to look at the facts and accept evidence that ultimately should have led to the claim that was being made being dismissed as a simple desktop exercise. So rather than that, it's taken nearly 2 years, 3 months to get to tribunal, and a threat that essentially when I come out of bankruptcy, I'll be faced with a very large debt that they will enforce, even though of course I'm on universal credit. And when you're bankrupt, you can't be a director of a company, so you can't set something up, you can't be a director of a charity or anything like that. So I've done a lot of voluntary work in the last year. And that experience with them led to me thinking, well, if they're treating all paying parents in this manner, it's highly stressful, and you're on your knees anyway. And this organization comes down on you like a ton of bricks when they absolutely shouldn't be. And there's no care taken. So when, after a long phone call with them, where I'm literally pleading with them to just look at what I'm sending them and they're refusing, I thought, well, I need to start lifting up some stones here. And that's what I've been doing ever since, really.
And how did you come to meet Craig and the others? And is that where you found solace? Is that where you found other people in your situation? Was it on Facebook?
Well, I joined a number of groups on Facebook while I was going through my own drama. And, I'm someone that likes to help people. So I started doing videos to help other people, and publishing those on YouTube. I wrote some other reports into, corruption in the family court, and that got a lot of attention. And I've written another one about domestic abuse being used by the domestic abuse industry, and in a way just to generate money, but on statistical falsehoods. And then that really led into me writing a paper specifically on the child maintenance service, where I discovered that there are a horrific level of excess deaths among the paying parent population who are in arrears. So, i.e., people that are really in financial difficulty are taking their own lives at scale.
What's the solution? What do you think? What can we do? What would you like to see happen?
Well, immediately I would like to see that all of their enforcement suspended. I'd like to see a public inquiry into the organisation. When I wrote my report, and it dawned on me the magnitude of what's going on here. I mean, we're talking over 1,000 parents a year. It's not a small figure.
1,000 parents a year taking their own lives.
That's right. Yeah, 1,000.
Well, think of all the children. Think of all the children left behind.
Well, yeah. I mean, on average, it's nearly 2 children per parent, right? So that's a significant number. And every time someone takes their own life, it seriously impacts at least 6 people around them. The next phase of my report, before I submit it for peer review, is to look at the impact on their children. And there are some studies out there that tell us that when a parent suicides, their child is 3 times more likely to suicide. So and that's before you look at the figures for self-harm as well, which are much higher than that. So we have, it's not just the CMS, these are all intertwined agencies, family court, the refusal for equal parenting, and an industry that is putting a veneer of in the best interest of children, but it's really operating in the best interest of the professionals who run the industry. And the best interest of children or parents is furthest from its mind. It's just a multi-billion pound operation that is, really just, it's scaling up every year. We've got now 88% of divorcing parents with children battling it out over custody of their children in family court. But in Sweden, you've got well below 10%, simply because they have equal parenting. It's a traumatic time when parents separate. But what we seem to have developed here is a system that rates the family estate as its first priority, and child protection, and ensuring both parents are in as good as possible situation under the circumstances, the very difficult circumstances, to function and to deliver decent parenting is not happening. And that's surely got to be the priority, is that both parents can actually get through that separation in as good shape as possible. But it's not at all what's happening. And what's really alarming, actually, is that I've written to every single MP, I've written to every relevant minister, I've written to all the senior management at the CMS, I've written to all the mainstream media, and it's completely silent. There's no response from anyone. You're the first of any type of media attention that I'm getting here.
Do you even get a response?
Nothing at all. It doesn't stop.
Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. If people want to help with this campaign that you are running, what can they do? How can they get hold of you?
Well, the first thing they could do is go to cmssuicide.org, and they could register there, and they could contact through that site. They could follow me on Twitter, Brian Hudson 3333, and they can look me up on YouTube as well. There's some helpful videos on there. They're the key ways, really, to start with. And they can look up on Facebook as well. There's a Facebook page, CMS Suicide.
Thank you very much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Anna. Thanks for taking the time.